So how are we going to improve our boards by focusing on impact measurement? How do they benefit? Well, their job, one of the board's jobs is to set your organization up for success. And your organization cannot do all those functions unless they have access to outcome measures. So that's how a board can set their organization up for success, is set a strategy, invest in the processes and tools and technology to help your organization be outcomes and impact centric. You also, it's part of your job to ensure your organization is meeting the community's needs. Remember that that chart I showed you where the consumer has a problem and your nonprofit has a solution? Well, we need to make sure that those two things are true. Sometimes, right, wrong, or indifferent, nonprofits have a mission that they're trying to achieve. The consumers may have a problem, but they're mismatching. They're not delivering their services in a way that is meeting the customer's needs and getting the results. And without collecting data, without understanding the relationship between who you're serving, what you're doing with them, and the results that they're getting, there is no way we can improve, at least effectively and efficiently, improve and continuously improve to meet the needs of our community and continue to grow and expand. It's a responsibility of the board to ensure equitable outcomes. I started in my career as the deputy director of program evaluation with the juvenile courts. And when I started, we found out that we were not having equal outcomes for equal populations. And that was very concerning because what that showed us is that there were segments of our community that, although the courts are for everyone, those programs are for everyone, that we were leaving certain populations behind. Sometimes it was race, sometimes it was gender, sometimes it was by zip code. And so it's really important that we understand that we are creating equal outcomes for equal people, which is part of why Sure Impact just innately analyzes all of your data through an equitable lens. You also need to strengthen your organization's impact story. Remember the slide I showed you where I said that 62% of nonprofits with impact data were able to raise more money versus 18% and 12. Also, 87 or 89% of nonprofits with outcomes data were able to create better external relationships, right? It's your job as a board member to make sure that your nonprofit is the best it possibly can be. And without impact data, you are leaving money on the table. And provide better fiscal stewardship. I mentioned this morning, I was at a meeting with a bunch of funders in the community and listening to these funders, and they're funders that have Sure Impact and use Sure Impact as a tool to help understand the impact of all their grant making. But they were, talking about, hey, we have a finite set of resources and we want to be fiscal stewards of these resources that we're entrusted with to grant out into the community. And so investing in the highest impact programs is what we want to do. And that's how we're using, leveraging Sure Impact. And what was fascinating to me is not only they weren't using the Sure Impact data as punitive, they were using it as a learning tool and curiosity, but it was that they were using it as an evaluation of the leaders within the organizations that they desire to fund. And this was new to me. This was something that I heard, and it was hot. It was new to me, so I'm excited to share it with you today. And that is that when they saw leadership prioritizing and making a commitment to collecting and managing and weren't resistant to collecting and managing the outcomes data, then they viewed those leaders as worthy of their investment. So again, do you want to be on a board that is prioritizing investing in impact measurement? Because those funders, that they're watching, they're looking at what boards make decisions on and why they make decisions.